Let's get on to some nerdy news.
Yes.
Big
Yes.
block of news this
There's
week.
so lots happened.
Yes. Okay. I'm so tilted from that Kraven segment. My brain's mush.
Oh, you just what? I'm so checked after you just said brap.
Brap. Do you remember when that was
I'm sorry.
cool
Are we
thing to
back
say?
in high school?
High school? Didn't realise we were American. Although the gun noises would make more sense then.
What did you call high school?
I mean, mine was also called a high school, but I just shit.
I'm double checked.
Oh, do you know what the best bit is? We're not even 2 hours into this, and you're checked. Imagine what it's going to be like next week when we're doing like a 4-hour episode. Little tease for
It's
you.
fine. I've got Josh to support me.
Anyway, James Gunn said he considered bringing Robert Pattinson into the DCU, but decided against it because he doesn't want to damage the freedom to tell Elseworld stories. This was said in an interview with Josh Horowitz on YouTube. There was a lot of good stuff spoken about in the interview, so I implore you to go check it out. But we did discuss early on with the success of it whether he would bring Robert Pattinson into the DCU.
Well, yeah, because the Batman had just come out when it got announced.
Yes.
James Gunn was taking over. So then when we were theorizing, what does he keep? Does he start fully afresh? Does he lean into this Matt Reeves stuff? It was like, it doesn't surprise me that it was a consideration. I imagine everything was on the board of what is kept, what goes, what do we use. He would have seen the success of the Batman and thought, is it worth leaning into this?
I think keeping the Batman stuff as like the gold standard for the Elseworlds is a much better decision.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like James Gunn will not at all be doubting his decision. I think at the beginning it was a consideration, but I think he probably realized, no, this is the DCU style overall that I want to build. That's not going to fit in, but this is a really great example of what we could do with Elseworlds.
Exactly.
Like you say. And like, look at what's great. We got the Penguin. So
worth it. We've got, as always, this in chronological order, so it's a little bit messy, but stick with me. The Critics' Choice Award nominations have come out.
Yes.
So I've just highlighted ones that are relevant to stuff we discuss here. These are not all of the nominations for all of the awards. Best Actor in a Drama Series. Anthony Starr has earned a nomination for his role of Homelander in The Boys.
Deserved.
Yeah, he was phenomenal in season 4. Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. Lisa Colonzayas has been nominated for The Bear.
Nice.
And Patti LuPone has been nominated for Agatha All Along.
Love that.
As well she deserves. I said she better get some fucking nominations, and she did. Best Limited Series. The Penguin got a nomination. Best Actor and Actress in a Limited Series nominations for Colin Farrell and Kristen Milotti.
Nice. Deserved.
Not a massive shock there. They were both phenomenal.
Yeah.
Best Supporting Actress in a Limited Series for Deirdre O'Connell for the Penguin, who played the Penguin's mother.
Nice. Okay.
Yes. And then for Best Animation nominations, Batman Caped Crusader, Invincible, and X-Men 97 all got Best Animation nominations.
I have a potential gripe with this, which is where the fuck is Arcane? But it might be.
I think it came out too late.
Yeah, I
think it came out just too late.
I saw the nomination. I was like, no Arcane. I was like, maybe too late.
Yeah, I think it was just too late. So that is the Critics' Choice Award nominations that we'll be paying attention to. I think they're all deserved. No, none of them are like, really?
Yeah, and I don't think out of those categories, there's not, like, especially animation, like, they don't seem to be missing anything that's jumping out at me other than
the only thing I would say is I'm a little bit surprised Batman Caped Crusader got a nomination, because with all the episodes getting dropped in one lump, there wasn't much buzz about it. It kind of disappeared as quickly as it came. So I didn't really know if it would be remembered well enough for anyone to bother to nominate it.
Well, it's obviously done something.
Ahsoka Season 2 will begin filming in the UK in April 2025, according to IndieWire. They will not be exclusively
No.
using the volume. So one of the big and valid complaints of Ahsoka Season 1 was visually it was kind of drab.
Yeah, I mean, it had the Disney Star Wars look from Mando, which everyone's got used to, which is, we know this is shot on a volume. Like, you've shown off the tech because you were so proud of it. We now all know when stuff's filmed on it. This is a bit boring. I love that they're not using the volume as
I
much.
really hope that Agatha All Along came out and they went, look how pretty that is. It costs like 90% of what the volume costs to do that instead. Let's do a little bit of that.
I think,
give us some like realness and like there's something tangible about when you're looking at like the background in a set, and your brain, even if you can't tell why, you can look at something a lot of the time and go, that doesn't feel tangible.
Yeah, and I imagine, like, I'm sure the internal talks of Star Wars is like, the original films were so practical and the prop department and all that put so much work in. That's what we all loved about the visual. Why are we not doing practical anymore? And probably Dave Filoni being like, why are we not leaning into practical? Then Agatha All Along's come out and they're gone, why are we not using practical? And obviously Skeleton Crew was seeing it. So I think that's an example of what Ahsoka's going to feel like.
It's one of them ones where, like you say, the original Star Wars was such a beautiful use of practical and then touch-ups. It kind of feels anti-Star Wars to have it all be CGI.
Yeah.
And then moving back towards practical with some touch-ups, I feel like on the back end, if they can get more into that Star Wars mindset, we're going to feel it on the receiving end.
And like, sure,
so that's very exciting.
Use the volume if you need to do like in space stuff to get that lighting right and stuff. Like, there's places to use it. Just don't use it for every shot.
The volume has a place in making
and
TV and film.
I think
but it's not in every scene.
Part of the thing as well, I think, for this happening now is the volume came out, it's new tech, directors are like, and producers like, oh, we've got this cool new thing we can do. Let's play with it. We want to do everything in it because you're like, oh, this is our new toy. And then you realize you've used it on everything. Like, okay, we'll use it on this. It's right to use on this, but actually we shouldn't be using it here. We went a bit overboard.
Exactly that. We got an Invincible Season 3 trailer.
We did.
Did you notice how, like, obviously, it starts obviously with him fucking training.
Yes.
Did you notice how much buffer he actually looks?
Yes.
Like, the animation, he's a bit wider, he's got a bit more to him.
They're selling it.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be an interesting season.
It does. And I mean, we've enjoyed the first two seasons. Like, they've already promised us no mid-season break this time.
Yeah.
Which
it's
is
coming
great.
in February. It's close.
Yeah, and we know about, like, he gets the new suit, like, and everyone's saying this is going to be a fun and interesting season. Like, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Oliver's a little bit grown up. He's becoming Kid Omni-Man. Which
I loved how the guy was like, he said
the O was right there.
The O was for Oliver, even though it's the exact same design.
Kid Omni-Man is a dogshit name.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when Omni Kid is right there.
Yeah, but the kids come up with the name.
I know, it's dog shit. Again, kind of on the same par of Invincible. Invincible is a dog shit hero, no?
Well, yeah.
But I like that it tells us like exactly how much stronger he's got in the trailer. And I really love like the reveal of like the White Room's here to protect me from what? Protect me from you. And then we get to see like them evil cyborgs that we saw in season 1.
Oh, yeah, the humans
and we knew he was working on them in season 2. Lots of it's good. I'm excited. You know how I feel about Invincible. I always get excited. Reacher season 3 trailer.
Yeah, right before the trailer there was like an image of the bad guy, which we talked about after we I'd watched Reacher, and you were saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, they've cast this guy as the person that's going to be twice as big as Reacher," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, he looked big on when I googled him."
Yeah.
Then they put up some shots of them side by side.
Right. That still image is so. How do you make Alan Richardson look
small.
that small?
Yeah,
It's like seeing a picture of Shaq next to The Rock, and you're like,
Yes.
how does one make The Rock look small?
yeah, it's exactly that, and then obviously we got the trailer, and there's a clip in that when he punches him, and it does nothing, and Reacher's like, you can see the expression of, oh shit, like
That was my knockout punch.
yeah. So I think it's going to be a fun season.
I'm confident it's going to be really good because obviously season 1 and season 2 was phenomenal.
Mm.
And before the trailer for season 3 was out, season 4's already been greenlit and is being worked on.
Yeah.
Which means whoever's seen bits and pieces at Amazon are happy with what they've seen.
Yeah.
I'm really confident. Again, that's coming late February. I think Invincible's early February and Reacher's late February. So they're going to overlap a little bit.
Kick off
we're going to be eating
well.
good.
Yeah.
February's going to be cooking. And then after that, we're going to go straight into films. And then before you know it, it's Fantastic Four and Superman summer. 2025 is going to be lit, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get subscribed. And then we got the Golden Globe nominations.
Yes, all the nominations coming out.
The Golden Globes is both TV and film, so there's more nominations here.
Mm-hmm.
Best TV series that was a musical or comedy. The Bear got a nomination for that.
Yeah, famously a musical.
Famously. Best limited TV series, The Penguin got a nomination.
Nice, of course.
Best comedy actor nomination for Jeremy Allen White. Best comedy actress nomination for Io Adibri, both for The Bear. And then best comedy actress nomination for Catherine Hahn in Agatha All Along.
Nice.
Best supporting actor nomination for Ebon Moss-Baccarat, who plays Cousin. And best supporting actress nomination for Lisa Colonzayas, again for The Bear. She's cleaned up a bunch of awards already.
I mean,
the
Bear
season 2, sorry.
Still working on cleaning up awards.
Yeah, they're not going to stop ever. And then best actor and actress nominations for Colin Farrell and Krista Mialotti again for The Penguin.
Yeah. Nice.
And then on the film side, best drama film, Dune 2. I forgot Dune 2 came out this year.
Yeah, I mean, not a surprise.
No, phenomenal. Best animated film, the only one in there that I care about is The Wild Robot.
Yeah, you've talked a lot about that.
I love that film. I hope it wins. It's a masterpiece. Best original score. The Wild Robot got a nomination.
Oh.
But a little bit more dramatically, Dune 2 got a nomination. And that is drama because Dune 2 has been expelled from nomination in the Oscars for Best Original Score. Because not enough of it is original music.
Oh.
So the Oscars have a rule, I don't know if it came in this year or what, that at least X percentage of the score has to be original music written for the film to qualify for a nomination. And Dune 2 didn't meet that threshold. But Golden Globes doesn't have that rule. So Dune 2 is eligible. And then they have an award for cinematic and box office achievement. And Deadpool, Wolverine, and The Wild Robot both got nominated for that. Personally, I would rather see The Wild Robot win that award. But Deadpool and Wolverine did have a phenomenal box office that does deserve at least the recognition of a nomination. Yeah. So that's the Golden Globe Awards that we'll be keeping an eye on.
We will do.
Ryan Reynolds has said he'd like Deadpool to become more of a supporting character going forward in an interview with Variety. Basically, the idea is people have asked him about Deadpool 4, and he said, I've got a bunch of kids at home that I'd like to get to know.
Yeah.
Because he's been working hard, fair play to him. And I do think with the direction the MCU is going, especially when we know that post-multiverse, it's going to be pretty X-Men heavy, which... That sounds a little bit tired now. I'm very excited for a lot of X-Men. I think Deadpool being a support background character is exactly right. The
Yeah.
fact that we have had 3 genuinely enjoyable films with him as the main protagonist is actually a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense now. And like, they could have a bit of a fun run up to the X-Men era. We know Deadpool's now worked with the TVA.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a point in the next few films, even on like the run up to Secret War, and they do like, there's something with the story where like the TVA becomes involved and maybe some of the Avengers, and they're like, oh, well, you can go to Earth, whatever, and there's a guy there, Deadpool, you might want to talk to him, and like we get cameo or something that way. Like there's some fun interactions where you could have maybe the TVA rocks up and like, we need your help, and he's like, no, fuck off. And it's literally just like a brief moment where he shows up for like 5 minutes in a film, does something Deadpool funny, and then leaves. But yeah, I can imagine I don't think there's a need for a Deadpool 4, at least not right now.
No, I completely agree.
And I think he's probably the attitude of like, if he came up with a story down the line when the X-Men stuff's going on, and suddenly he's got like, oh, I think this would be a really fun Deadpool story and I want to tell it, I'm sure he would come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, let him chill.
The Wrap have reported that Chris Evans has been cast in Avengers Doomsday.
I saw
it's
this.
It's not known if he will be playing Steve Rogers. Now, the assumption is he's playing Steve Rogers. The reason there is that caveat of it's not known if he will be playing Steve Rogers is because Robert Downey Jr. is also back, but he's back as Doom.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we know that this Robert Downey Jr.'s the presumption is this is a alternate universe, which is why RDJ is Doom, which then opens it up to Chris Evans could be anyone. Most likely is Steve Rogers, though, let's be honest. But he has mentioned wanting to put the suit back on. I'd love if it's a case. I'd love if we get Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie's in Doomsday.
So if he has to like, say he does some multiverse travel, meet Steve, and then the Steve there's like, huh, I guess in your world I did pass the shield on. Or like, is that like he gets to have that kind of moment of recognition of like, you're doing a good job with the shield, like I'm sure your Steve would be proud, and Anthony Mackie's Cap gets that like moment. I'd like that. It'd be also really cool to have like Chris Evans Cap fighting alongside Anthony Mackie's Cap.
Yeah, like there's options here.
Which is
Warhammer 40k at Prime is happening.
I saw the Instagram post from Henry Cavill. I was very excited when I read this.
I don't think we have any real timeline on it, but it is happening.
he put an Instagram post, which is actually often how he does any social media stuff. He doesn't seem to post really anywhere else, but he put a post up saying that him and a lot of creative, like his team and people from Warhammer have been busy going through all the books, through the lore, deep diving into the universe, finding characters that they wanted to maybe write a story around. Eventually came to some Amazon, the high-ups at Amazon and the high-ups at Warhammer both agreed on it, and we are good to go and start production. So they are, which is, considering like a couple of months ago, there was a bit of disagreement.
The discussion was if it doesn't happen by Christmas, it won't happen at all.
Yeah, and Henry Cavill was like, if you're not going to work with me on this. So I think the success of the game and a bit more information came out now about why Warhammer introduced those female custodians and stuff in their own lore stuff, which everyone's like, oh, that's Amazon's doing it. Actually, it wasn't. And more information. Like, I think tensions probably chilled out a bit, and Amazon's like, okay, you know what? We'll let you do your thing. He probably got the support more from Warhammer side. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what he comes up with.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we get. I mean, I make it no secret that I don't think Henry Cavill is as good an actor as some people make him out to be.
Hmm.
But I will stand by the fact that he is a hard worker who believes in the project he's working on.
And he will
And
fight
as a
for the
result of
material.
that, yeah, and as a result of that, I hope he's got a good chance of putting together a Warhammer project that Warhammer fans enjoy.
I think he will. He is known for fighting for the source material, which in a project like this, the fans are going to want someone doing that. I'd rather have Henry Cavill, who's not necessarily a top tier actor, but is going to make sure it's done faithfully, because then at least I know it's going to be a good show.
Yeah. Reports are emerging. I'm going to try and say this without a massive smile. That the Sony Marvel villain universe is dead after Kraven. This is according to the Wrap. Now
that is a wrap.
I'm not going to be too optimistic that this is true because their sources, there are no other projects in active development other than Spider-Man 4, Spider-Man Noir, and Beyond the Spider-Verse. There are no other projects, and this is like the first time that's been the case. So they're taking that as it's dead in the water. And while that doesn't mean it's dead in the water, it might just mean they don't know what they want to do next. One thing that might mean it's dead in the water is currently Kraven's Rotten Tomato scores have debuted in the last hour or so, and it's currently sitting on 9%, which is worse than Madam Web.
I mean,
let it die. Let it die.
Let's be real here. Sony is the execs are well aware of the reception to those films. They know monetarily that they have not done well. Even if they don't really care for the public perception, they know on the books that those were a flop.
Yeah, Venom's the only one that's made any money.
And
all three of the Venom films made money, don't get me wrong, but all the other ones cost them so much money that Venom essentially broke even.
Well, and also, Tom Hardy's done. They know that they'll be well aware that Tom Hardy was part of the reason the Venom films were successful. They know these big name actors help bring audiences. That's why they sign them. They know Venom's done. Probably won't be as big of a hit if they try to keep it going forward. All their others have been a flop. They don't necessarily
may as well save the money and just play ball with Marvel.
Yeah, some exec, it's got to a point with the execs where they're like, we are burning money when we could be just take a hit to our pride and work with the MCU and Marvel over at Disney,
and we'll make more money.
We'll make more money in the long run.
Yeah.
Then we'll have our fight with the creative over there instead.
Yeah. Which, let's be clear, I'm not sure it's better for Spider-Man, but at least we don't have these dog shit projects to worry about.
Yeah. I mean, Disney will rather take the fight over the Spider-Man projects than the potential damage that their own films are doing to the MCU.
Exactly. The Oscars, for the first time, are going to be live streamed on Hulu as well as being aired on ABC.
Interesting. Does that
Oscars
mean
make it?
They'll be coming on Disney Plus?
I haven't got a fucking clue how it works in the UK. Hulu and Disney Plus in the UK, so fucking... I don't understand it. Why are there so many streaming services? Oh, it's my most boomer complaint. Why is there so many streaming services? Yeah, man. I just want to pay for the streaming service. This is an exciting, cool one that broke kind of late. There's not much to talk about here, but I wanted a record of it. There is apparently a Pokemon Aardman project in the works. So for those who aren't sure, Aardman are the people behind Wallace and Gromit and that claymation style, which is iconic.
Yep.
I can't think of an existing IP better than Pokemon for them.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
How awesome is this gonna be?
I wonder, right? Because obviously Aardman has done other stuff than, well, like they've worked with other studios and different things, like, and they've done their own other little things, like the Creature Comforts thing that they
Yeah.
had on BBC TV for a while. I wonder if their partnership with Star Wars for Vision Season 2 kind of helped present an open door to some bigger IPs. And Pokemon was like, we want to do something with you. We saw what you did with Star Wars. We want to do something with you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not in Japan, so we don't know. But I do wonder if, like, the Aardman Visions episode popped off to the Japanese
Possibly.
audience. Like, it's very possible that that episode did so well with the Japanese audience and obviously the wider world in general that Pokemon went, oh, interesting.
Well, it could even be like,
Imagine a little claymation Bulbasaur. Come on. Or Squirtle. Come on, they're going to be so cute.
But yeah, because it could be literally Pokemon could have been like, oh, we thought you just did Wallace and Gromit. And you now have Star Wars on your portfolio. Can we do something? Or that they went to Pokemon and went, look, we worked with Star Wars. We'd love to do a Pokemon project if you have an idea.
More Aardman projects. It's a unique animation style. You know how I feel like unique animation styles. They need more love.
Can we get an Aardman DCU claymation?
Imagine if they did like a lot. You know, like they're doing like some weird projects anyway. Imagine if they did like a weird Elseworlds film where it was live action, but Clayface was
actually
like
claymation.
Was done by Aardman, and then like they did use like false perspective and stuff to put him into. Like, that would be fucking awesome.
That would be quite cool.
But yeah, that's a really cool and exciting project.
Yeah.
That I'll be keeping an eye out for, because that could be really, really cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I believe. Oh no! One more thing. Jarrell Jerome.
Oh yeah.
Has said that he's not recorded his voice lines for Beyond the Spider-Verse yet. He voices Miles G. Morales, who is the evil Miles seen at the end of Across the Spider-Verse. Doesn't mean that when like massively delayed.
No.
Voice acting is the shortest part of animating a film like this.
Yes,
but it means that we're not expecting it in March or April.
No, but it was like, yes, it's not the bulk of the animation, but when it comes to, they need the voice lines to animate the mouth movements, which obviously then still takes time. But also, I would imagine this has come from a place of people are asking, obviously, when is it coming out? He might have got interviewed for something or got like, and he's just said, well, I haven't recorded my voice lines yet. Maybe that gives you an idea of how long's left in production. Basically being like, look, I haven't recorded my voice lines yet, so I don't know when it's coming out. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's just, it is still in production. And I'm okay with that as long as it is the best. Like, the creatives are allowed to do their best work.